Hello, my name is Romina de Novellis. I'm Italian. I was born in Naples, but I grew up in Rome, and I live and I work in Paris since 2008. I graduated in Royal Academy of Dance of London in Rome in 1999. I was 17, and after this certification I start to study contemporary dance with a lot of international choreographer and dance company. In the same time I start to study in Rome always at the University Rome 3, history of arts, dance and theater, dance. When I start to dance I was very young, I was 5. And since the beginning, my dream was to become a choreographer, not a dancer. I created my dance theater company. I was a very young choreographer, and I work in the same time at the opera in theater in Rome. I was the assistant art director for the opera, and then I had these three different modality of works. It was the creation, the assistant at the opera, and the theory with the university. All this experience unfortunately finished at 2004 when I had a terrible accident in Rome with my scooter, and during 1 year after the accident I had to learn again to walk. After this long year of re-education I started to work always with my body, but I decided to work in performance art and in pedagogy. I decided to become a pedagogist for children with different disability in mobilization, but also in behavior disorder. And then in creation I reborn as a performance artist, and I decided to work on my body, to denounce and to use my body in the same time for creation and denounce with a political and sociologic and anthropology approach. What I appreciated in the Royal Academy of Dance, it was that I had the impression that this school considered all bodies able to dance and to express themselves. I really appreciated that, and I think that my interest in anthropology and in performance art is in the continuity with what I learned about the diversity and the integration of everybody. Through the dance, I was able to practice a performance about endurance, and I really learned to push my limits of my body and of my mind. Then my performances are very long. I perform in a very long time and in a space too. It becomes long and big, like the time. I work on the repetition of gesture, and it's in this repetition of gesture that I feel really in connection with classical ballet. As a performance artist, my work is completely inspired by my southern culture. South and Mediterranean are the center of my topics and my research in anthropology and in art. In the center of my artwork there is humanity in this basin of Mediterranean. I try through my body to denounce or inequality in consideration of the connection with Africa and Europe, and I really feel that Italy and southern of Italy it's in the beginning of this conflict. So all my work is around that. I also worked on the sense of claustrophobic feeling that as a woman we can have I can have, and we female bodies, we can feel in society. So the cage is in the center of my work too. The cage as a allegoric space or a small, authentic small space. So all condition of disability, it's very important in my work, where the idea of disability, it's not only a form of limit, but it's something who comes from the power. Another aspect of my work is the relationship with the painting, maybe Italian painting, because my work is very inspired by this aesthetic, but with a very political approach. And I think in this work there is a typical approach to the passage from the classical ballet to contemporary dance. And I really appreciate that at the Royal Academy of Dance we studied in the same time classical ballet, but also character and free movement contemporary dance. I really think classical, contemporary and character it's the resume of my work today. Classical aesthetic in a contemporary denunciation with a character anthropologic approach. I created and founded an association here in Paris, a no-profit association, where I work with dancers who are also therapists, osteopathists, shiatsu therapists, and psychiatrists, psychoanalyst, and we all work together at the Atelier Essenza with my association, where I continue to create a link with dance, but in support of all people need to discover their work or need to re-educate their body, not with a therapeutic approach like in hospital, but with a care approach. I developed a personal training and a personal method based on different somatic practices, of course the dance, but also gyrotonic and gyrokinesis method. I'm a gyrotonic and gyrokinesis trainer, and I studied in Germany for this method. And so my approach to these children is not only as a pedagogist, but is also as an ethnologist. And I decide to organize my pedagogy before with a very long period of observation, where I just stay and look at the child. Then I try to create a relation based on imitation, where it's before me that I try to imitate these children, and maybe after a long time of life together they start to imitate myself. And it's at this moment that we can dance together, we can move together, and our two bodies become one. In my thesis in anthropology, I also study the relationship with this behavior disorder and in autistic children, in dialogue with performance, and in a specific southern Italian ritual that we called tarantismo, but this is another story and it's so long to explain that. In the continuity of this work of community and this work of sharing knowledge and experiences, I also founded with 4 more people between Paris and Apulia, the hills of Italy, at the end of this part of the hill, which is called Salento. We created in Galatina an artist and research residency completely and absolutely dedicated to the South and to the Mediterranean. So each year we created a summer program where we invited researcher, journalist, art critic, artists, and curators, and all together we worked during 1-2 weeks around some common topics on gender in Mediterranean, ecology in this basin, and politically relations between all the countries involved in this basin. This project is called Domus, and it's also an association, non-profit association based in Italy, but we work with an international issue and program and connection, and our goal is to create a big network in the Mediterranean between Africa and Europe, who involved all people are sensible to these problems, these common problems, topics, and research. So from dance, passing by Paris, Rome, Naples, I arrived in Galatina, and with a lot of collaboration, with a lot of relations, and the Mediterranean involved all my practice, my theories, my story, my background, and I hope my future collaboration.
Una musica dolce suonava soltanto per me.